तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhuvigrunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. We are studying here the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are in the midst of conversation which happened on October 16, 1882. And the topic going on was, in that state of God intoxication, I used to speak out my mind to all. I was no respecter of persons. Even to men of position, I was not afraid to speak the truth. And in this context, he has first mentioned two brothers, Jatindra and Raja Saurindra Tagore. They are brothers. So Jatindra Tagore. Raja was the title given to Saurindra. Now, Jatindra and Saurin had some interest in religion, and so there is a common platform between Sri Ramakrishna and them. Otherwise, Sri Ramakrishna is not going to go and bounce on somebody and speak the truth to him. It is only who officially are religious, are on the same platform with Sri Ramakrishna, then this happens. But among them, there are some aristocrats, not rajas. So there we found he is talking with Jatindra in the garden of Jadumalli. Jadumalli was Sri Ramakrishna's devotee. He was a rich man. And because he was a rich man and he was a complete devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, his garden was always open to Sri Ramakrishna. Even if Jadu was not there, Sri Ramakrishna could come and sit in the garden. So in his garden, because they are associates with rich people, so Jatindra had come. And there Sri Ramakrishna met him. And Thakur's nature was to ask some questions. And one question was, if he knew that they are very good devotees of God in some way or the other, he would ask them, in what form do you see God? Otherwise, if they are socially good or great people, he would ask them, what is man's duty? So this is what he asked. I asked him, what is the duty of man? So you understand this. Duty is asked to socially conscious people. And duty, in Thakur's mind, the first duty of man is to turn his mind to God. But what is their attitude? To know it, Thakur asked this question. He is telling his own answer also. What is the duty of man? Isn't it our duty to think of God? So that is the first duty according to Thakur. But he has asked a question to find out what is his attitude about it. Jatindra replied, we are worldly people. So Jatindra makes a distinction between sannyasis like Ramakrishna and the worldly people, means householders. So he senses that we have many duties. And among those duties, we do find time to talk of or sing of God. That is his difference. So he says, we are worldly people. How is it possible for us to achieve liberation? He has directly jumped to the aim of life. Because why we should be devoted to God? To get liberation. So, can we find liberation? Is the first question. Then only we'll turn our mind towards God. And here he quotes, even King Yudhishthira had to have a vision of hell. So yesterday we discussed this incident that Yudhishthira was known for his absolutely speaking the truth always. And there happened an incident during the Mahabharata war that he was advised by his companions that he must speak a semi-truth. Dronacharya, superior in arms because he was the teacher for everybody, how he could be killed was the main question. And Yudhishthira himself had asked him, and he had told that, you know, I am excessively attached to my son. Now you devise whatever you want to do. So he had a son named Ashwathama. And one day he became so ferocious in war that it was impossible to deal with him. So it was decided that an elephant named Ashwathama should be killed by Bhima. And Bhima should shout, I have killed Ashwathama, I have killed Ashwathama. And then it was also known that Dronacharya may not believe it. And Dronacharya would believe only if Yudhishthira says so. So he was asked Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira should reply, now there are slight different variations in Indian provinces. In Bengali, we say, Ashwathama hata iti gajaha. Ashwathama is killed, which was an elephant. In Marathi, Ashwathama hata narova kunjarova. That is the version. That whether it may be a man or it may be an elephant. And it was also planned by Bhagavan, Sri Krishna and others, that first half of the sentence should be clearly spoken and Dronacharya could hear it. And the remaining portion, Yudhishthira would speak up to quell his own conscience. But so much drums and other things should start being beaten that Dronacharya would not hear it. So same thing happened, and Dronacharya asked Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira said, yes, sir, Ashwathama has been killed. It may be an elephant. So Dronacharya gave up his arms totally. That was his attachment to his son. That if my son is killed, I don't want to live. And in that state, somebody went and hit a sword at him and killed him. So that he is being referred. Now, Yudhishthira and all his brothers and Draupadi, at the end of the war, they ruled the kingdom for 36 years. And then they said, enough is enough. The grandson Parikshit has been now grown up. He can rule the kingdom. So we shall all go to heaven, which was believed to be on the top of Mount Sumeru. So that was this type of sannyas, that giving up everything, they should climb the Mount Sumeru. And while climbing, one by one, they were dropping out because nobody had that punya by which they could go to heaven in that body of theirs. Yudhishthir was an exception. So Yudhishthir was going one by one, Draupadi, Nakul Sahadev, Arjun, Bhima dropped down. Yudhishthir was going alone when a dog came from somewhere and joined him. Then at the appointed, trusted point, a chariot came from heaven. And please come, you are entitled to go there with your body. So Yudhishthir said, my dog also will go with you. They didn't like it. How can God have that, dog have that punya which you have? He said, I am not going. My brothers and sisters have departed, and this dog has joined me and is company, keeping company. I don't want to go without him. If you want, take all my punya and give it to the dog and enable him to go. So that was a test set up, and in that also he succeeded. Then he was taken to heaven. And he didn't see his brothers there. And he saw Duryodhana and others there. So he said, your justice is wrong, etc. They said, no. Because they died in war, they have gone to heaven. They cannot stay there more time. But all your brothers had some defect or the other. So temporarily, they will have to suffer hell. Then he said, I want to visit them first. So he was taken to hell. And entering there, it was very difficult for him to stay there. But they said, enough. For your that semi-truth, this much was prescribed for you. Now you and all your brothers, it is due for all of you to go to heaven. So that is the story which Jatin is referring to, and he says, even King Yudhishthira had to have a vision of hell. He did go to heaven, but he had to have a vision of hell. That means he had to speak untruth. So how could even Yudhishthir, means Yudhishthir, the repository of dharma, though he was an householder, even he was not perfect. How can we, other householders, hope to get liberation? Now, because he took that example, Sri Ramakrishna was off at once. We saw yesterday some other dimension to this. But Sri Ramakrishna was offended, and he started telling him, this made me very angry. I said to him, what sort of man are you? Of all the incidents in Yudhishthir's life, you remember only his seeing hell. You don't remember his truthfulness. Because he was truthful, so this trap was laid. His forbearance. Forbearance means if somebody does ill to you, you don't react. And this you have seen in Yudhishthir very often. Duryodhan is verification for this. Let me tell you a story. My hook and crook, Pandavas were sent to live in the forest for 12 years. Pandavas managed, they were happy. And all the good people of the kingdom started going to Yudhishthir to talk to him and feel all right. Now one who is suffering is Duryodhana. That I sent them to forest, but they are all right. So how to humiliate them? So they planned that Duryodhana, with all his army and all the glory of a king, with that he should go into the forest in front of Yudhishthir. So Yudhishthir will feel humiliated. This crooked scheme was immediately known to Indra, the king of gods. What he did, he had a Gandharva, Chitraratha by name. He was Arjuna's friend also, Indra's friend also. So Indra asked Chitraratha, you do something to put these people to shame. So he, with all the heavenly women and his own men, in the way there was a lake, and they all went to take bath there. Duryodhana's army was passing. Seeing a lake, they wanted to take bath. That was known it will happen like that. And they were forbidden by the guards. You cannot go. Ladies, heavenly ladies are taking bath at present. Duryodhana in his haughtiness did not agree and wanted to enter. There was a war between the Gandharvas and Duryodhana's army. No man is no match for Gandharva. They have special powers. And Duryodhana's friends, who were always planning crooked things with him, his brother Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni, his maternal uncle, they ran away in that war. And Duryodhana was caught by the Gandharvas. And he was tied to the chariot. Now, there were other people, Brahmins or other people. They went shouting, the king has been kidnapped. And they went to where Yudhishthir and the Pandavas were living. Hearing this, Yudhishthir said, Bhima, Arjuna, they were making merry. Yudhishthir said to Bhima and Arjuna, go immediately and get him released. So under his order, they had to go. And they were terrible warriors. So there was, you may say, a tie between them and the Gandharvas. And they asked, you release the king. He said, I do not recognize any king other than Yudhishthir. So I will take this man in this very fashion to Yudhishthir and ask him, what should I do? I do not believe you people. So counter humiliation. And when he went to Yudhishthir, Yudhishthir could not see that. Release him immediately. So he was released. He came back to that spot and sat down. Murus, his companions hiding in the forest, came out. And our king is glorious. He has fought and released himself. He said, no, give me poison immediately. I don't want to live under this humiliation. And there he said, the man whom I have hated all my life, and the man who has never hated me, and at his hands I am released. Shame, shame. Any other person in the world would have said, we should not quarrel with them, but that was Duryodhana's nature. Then his friend said, and these ups and downs are always in life pain. One should not be rejected like that. Then he said, I cannot live peacefully unless I see Yudhishthira a kid. That is Duryodhana. So we see Yudhishthira's forbearance. Always Duryodhana would do some tricks, and Yudhishthira would not react. Actually, the name Duryodhana means difficult to fight with. Dur means bad. Yudhishthira could never say Duryodhana to him. He used to call him Suyodhana, meaning a good fighter. That shows Yudhishthira's forbearance. And Thakur is telling Jatindra, you don't see his truthfulness, his forbearance, his patience. Patience will do when the time comes. His discrimination, Vivekabuddhi. His dispassion, Vairagya, though he was a king. His devotion to God. So Thakur could see so many glorious points in Yudhishthira. They were there. And Thakur could see that. And he is telling Jatindra, and you remember only that he had to speak semi-truth for a moment. I was about to say many more things when Hriday stopped my mouth. After a little while, Jitarendra left the place saying he had some other business to attend to. So he could not bear Thakur's stinging remark. Then second case. Many days later, I went with captain to see Raja Saurindra Tagore. Captain is Vishwanath Upadhyay, Nepal government's agent in Calcutta. Thakur used to call him captain. He was a great devotee. So with him, Saurindra was known to be a religious person. So with him, Thakur went to him. Now in both the places we see here Yadunath garden and there with captain. So associations are same. They are also rich. I went with captain to see Raja Saurindra Tagore. Raja means a king. But here it is a title given by the British government. As soon as I met him, I said, I can't address you as Raja or by any such title, for I should be telling a lie, because you are not a Raja. As soon as he went, he talked like that. Because he should not be puffed up with pride. That was the reason. He talked to me a few minutes, but even so, he was not immediately offended. He continued to talk. But even so, our conversation was interrupted by the frequent visits of Europeans and others. Because he was known to the British government, so the European officers would come to him. A man of Rajasic temperament. Rajasic means one who shows his greatness. That is Rajasic. Saurindra was naturally busy with many things. Jatindra, his elder brother, had been told of my coming, but he sent word that he had a pain in his throat and couldn't go out. So, most likely, he is avoiding Thakur. So, these two brothers. One day, in that state of divine intoxication, I went to the bathing ghat on the Ganges and Varanagar. So, Varanagar is south of Dakshineshwar, north of Calcutta. Remember, Master Maharshi was staying in his sister's house in Varanagar. So, there is a bathing ghat on the Ganges at Varanagar. There I saw Jai Mukherjee. So, Jai Mukherjee is another very rich person, but inclined somewhat to religion. Then I saw Jai Mukherjee repeating the name of God. So he was doing japam. But his mind was on something else. I went up and slapped him twice on the cheeks. Because he is known to be religious, I brought his mind back to japam. Though he was a big man. At one time, Rani Rasmani was staying in the temple garden. She came to the shrine of the Divine Mother, as she frequently did when I worshipped Kali. If she came to know Thakur is doing puja, she would come to the temple and asked me to sing a song or two. On this occasion, while I was singing, I noticed she was sorting the flowers for worship. Before worship, sorting the flowers, white, yellow, this, that. Absent-mindedly, mind was somewhere else. At once I slapped her on the cheeks. In Great Master, cheeks were not mentioned and we were worried, but here it is very clear.
Bengali it is not mentioned.
Huh?
In Bengali it is not mentioned.
Cheek is not here.
Chapur.
हाँ चापड़ तो गाली है तो चापड़ कहता है. She became quite embarrassed and sat there with folded hands. She did not react. She understood her mistake. But from Thakur's side, alarmed at this state of mind myself. Because externally, it may not produce good results. It has in these 4 cases, but that is not good. In Jatindra's case, he has reacted. I said to my cousin Haldari was Thakur's cousin, one of the priests in the temple. And he was supposed to be learned in scriptures. I said to my cousin Haldari, just see my nature. How can I get rid of it? What Haldari replied, we will not know. Huh? After praying to the Divine Mother for some time with great yearning, I was able to shake off this habit. So Thakur did not like this habit. He had to pray repeatedly, then he could conquer this habit. When one gets into such a state of mind, one doesn't enjoy any conversation but that about God. I used to weep when I heard people talk about worldly matters. When I accompanied Mathur Babu on a pilgrimage, we spent a few days in Benares, Kashi, at Raja Babu's house. Let me discuss these names a little. Benares is the English name converted from Varanasi. Kashi means city of light. Varanasi means which portion is Kashi? On the western bank of the Ganges, two rivers, almost perpendicular, meet the Ganges, Varana and Asi. So the land, western side of the Ganges, enclosed between Varana and Asi, is Varanasi. And that much is Kashi. So, from Varanasi, by Varna Vyapatya we say, English people made it Benares. We spent a few days in Benares at Raja Babu's house. We do not know the surname, but Raja Babu was a rich man, friend of Mathur Babu. Raja Babu's house. One day I was seated in the drawing room with Mathur Babu, Raja Babu and others, hearing them talk about various worldly things such as their business losses and so forth. I wept bitterly and said to the Divine Mother, Mother, where have you brought me? I was much better off in the temple garden at Dakshineshwar. Here I am in a place where I must hear about women and gold. They were discussing losses. Thakur said women and gold. But at Dakshineshwar, I could avoid it. The master, so this was, we have seen this incident started that Swami Vivekananda took bath there, took food there with Thakur. Other devotees also took food there, and after that this conversation is going on. So, the master asked the devotees, especially Narendra, to rest a while. And he himself lay down on the smaller coach. Actually, in the beginning, a bed was made on the floor. A mat was spread over which was placed a quilt covered with a white sheet. A few cushions and pillows completed the simple bed. Like a child, the master sat near Narendranath on the bed and he talked. Then, after some talk, he said we should now take rest. And he went up from there to his smaller coach. So that morning thing is completed here. Thakur rested, they rested. So same date but different scene now. Late in the afternoon, Narendra sang. So Thakur Master told him to sing. Himself also might have sang. Rakhal, Latu, M, Hazra and Priya, Narendra's Brahmo friend, clearly mentioned here itself, were present. So in the morning we saw Narendra had come with some of his Brahmo friends. So others might have gone away. And new name has come here is Latu. Latu was living in Dakshineshwar itself. So in the afternoon he was there. Latu means Swami Adbhutananda. M. Hazra and Priya, Narendra's Brahma friend, were present. The singing was accompanied by the drum. Kholachana. Now these percussion instruments are of different types. The simplest is what we know, tabla. But tabla is a modernized version. Then in this type of instruments, there is a variation. There is a pakhavaj. There is the mridangam. and there is this coal. So this coal is more used in the Vaishnava singing. So that was the drum. And now Narendra is singing. Chintaya mama manasa richit gana niranjana kiva anupama bhati mohana murati bhakat hridaya ranjana navarage ranjita koti shashi vinindita kiva bijali chamake serup aloke pulake shiere jivanam हृदय कमलासने भावतार चरण देखो शांत मने प्रेम नयने अपरूप प्रिय दर्शन चिदानंद रसे भक्ति योगा वेशे होरे चिर मगन meditate O my mind on the Lord Hari, the stainless one, pure spirit through and through. How peerless is the light that in him shines. How soul bewitching is his wondrous form. How dear is he to all his devotees. After this song, Narendra sang. That was Narendra's intoxication. Once he started singing, he would forget himself. Narendra पर गाइलन सत्यं शिवम सुंदर रूप भाति हृदय मंदिरे निरखि निरखि अनुदिन मोरा डूबिब रूप सागरे सेदिन कबे हबे दीन जनेर भाग्यनाथ ज्ञान अनंत रूपे पशिबे नाथ मम हृदय अवाक होइए अधीर मन शरण लोइबे श्रीपदे आनंद अमृत रूपे उदिबे हृदय आकाशे चंद्र उदिले चकोर जेमन क्रीडये मम मन हृदये आम्रवनाथ तेमनी करे माति बोतव प्रकाशे रमगानाचे लॉन्ग सॉन्ग शांतम शिव अद्वितीय राज राज चरणे विकाइब ओहे प्राण सखा सफल करिब जीवने एमन अधिकार कोथा पावे आर स्वर्ग भोग जीवने सशरीरे शुद्धम पाप विद्धम रूप हेरिए नाथ तोमार आलोक देखिले अमार जेमन जाय पलाइए सत्तर आधार आलोक देखिले आधार जेमन जाय पलाइए सत्तर केमनी नाथ तोमार प्रकाशे पलाइबे पाप आधार ओहे ध्रुव तारा सम हृदय ज्वलंत विश्वास है ज्वाली दिए दीन बंधु पुराव मनेर आश आमी निषदिन प्रेमानंदे मगन होइए रे आपनारे भूले जाओ तुम्हार पाइए है सेदिन कबे होबे रे Oh, when will dawn for me that day of blessedness, when he who is all good, all beauty, and all truth will light the inmost shrine of my heart? When shall I sing at last, ever beholding him into that ocean of delight? Lord, as infinite wisdom, thou shalt enter my soul, and my unquiet mind, made speechless by thy sight, will find a heaven at thy feet. Heaven means safe shelter. In my heart's firmament, O Lord, thou wilt arise as blissful immortality, and as when the Chakwara beholds the rising moon in its sports about for very joy, so too shall I be filled with heavenly happiness when thou appearest unto me. Thou one without a second, all peace, the King of kings, at thy beloved feet I shall renounce my life, and so at last shall gain life's goal. I shall enjoy the bliss of heaven while yet on earth, where else is a boon so rare bestowed. Then shall I see thy glory, pure and untouched by stain. As darkness flees from light, so will my darkest sins desert me at thy dawn's approach. Kindle in me, O Lord, the blessing fire of faith, to be the pole star of my life. O succor of the weak, fulfill my one desire, then shall I bathe both day and night in the boundless bliss of thy love and utterly forget myself, O Lord, attaining thee. So we find here one thing, the Brahma ideas of Nirakar Brahman. Secondly, by Thakur's association, they were filled with devotion. So this is a combination of these two ideas. Narendra sang again. Ananda vadane bolo madhura brahma naam, name uthalive sudha sindhu piya aviram, पान करो আর দান করো রে यदि হয় কখন শুষ্ক হৃদয় করো নাম গান विषय मरीचिकार पड़े है प्रेमे हृदय सरस হবে রে देखो जन भूलो ना रे সেই महामंत्र विपद काले डेको तारे दयाल पिता बोले सबे हुंकारिए छिन्न करो पापेर बंधन जय ब्रह्म जय बोले हे एशो ब्रह्मानंदे माती सबे होई पूर्ण काम प्रेम योगे योगी होय रे. Now in this Bengali many lines are given within brackets. That means not part of original song, but while singing they compose additional lines and sing. In English we could not find that. The lines are there, but brackets are not there. With beaming face, chant the sweet name of God, till in your heart the nectar overflows. Drink of it ceaselessly and share it with all. If ever your heart runs dry, parched by the flames of worldly desire, chant the sweet name of God, and heavenly love will moisten your arid soul. Be sure, O mind, you never forget to chant His holy name. When danger stares in your face, call on Him, your Father compassionate. With His name's thunder, snap the fetters of sin. The sin is another idea in Brahma Samaj. Come, let us fulfill our heart's desires by drinking deep of everlasting joy, made one with Him in love's pure ecstasy. Khol karta loya kirtan hoite che. Now means singing is one thing, solo singing. And now Narendra and the devotees began to sing kirtan, accompanied by the drum and cymbals. They moved round and round the master as they sang. So, kirtan is mentioned. What is kirtan?
Singing name of God together in group.
Kirtan is a special type of, not song, but singing. And I have found it already. Kirtan from the Wikipedia. is a Sanskrit word that means narrating, reciting, telling, describing of an idea or story, specifically in Indian religions. Indian religions, because it is found in Sikhism also. And Vaishnavism, part of Hinduism, and Carnatic traditions, etc. Anyway, so in the Indian religions, it also refers to a genre of religious performance arts connoting a musical form of narration or shared recitation, particularly of spiritual or religious ideas native to the Indian subcontinent. It may include dancing or direct expression of bhava. Many kirtan performances are structured to engage the audience, where they either repeat the chant or reply to the call of the singer, etc. So, kirtan is a special type of singing, and in Maharashtra it has taken a form. In Bengal it has taken a form. It has originated, they say, from Tamil. So, this is the kirtan. Now Narendra and the devotees began to sing kirtan, accompanied by the drum and cymbals. Chipra, we say, karta. They moved round and round the master as they sang. Immerse yourself for evermore, O mind, in him who is pure knowledge and pure bliss. Next they sang, Oh, when will dawn for me that day of blessedness, when he who is all good, all beauty and all truth will light the inmost shrine of my heart. At last, Narendra himself was playing on the drum, and he sang with the master, full of joy. With beaming face, chant the sweet name of God. That was the last of the songs which he had sung. So that now he is singing with Thakur and playing himself on the drum. When the music was over, Sri Ramakrishna held Narendra in his arms a long time and said, You have made us so happy today. Because singing of God, the floodgate of the master's heart was open as so wide that night that he could hardly contain himself for joy. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. Intoxicated with divine love, he paced the long veranda north of his room. That was his style. When he was intoxicated, he would walk up and down in the veranda or somewhere. Now and then he could be heard talking to the Divine Mother. Suddenly he said in an excited voice, What can you do to me? Was the master hinting that Maya was helpless before him since he had the Divine Mother for his support? The master says, remark, guess. Narendra, M and Priya were going to spend the night at the temple garden. This pleased the master highly, especially since Narendra would be with him. The Holy Mother, who was living in the Nawabat, had prepared the supper. Surendra is Surendranath Datta, Surendranath Mitra. Surendra bore the greater part of the master's expenses. The meal was ready and the plates were set out on the southeast veranda of the master's room. Near the east door of his room, Narendra and the other devotees were gossiping. So, food over, Narendra and Master Mashe were talking. Narendra, how do you find the young men nowadays? Because M was the teacher. M. They are not bad, but they don't receive any religious instruction. Shall I comment on it? Anyway, let it go. Narendra. But from my experience, I feel they are going to the docks. They smoke cigarettes, indulge in frivolous talk, enjoy foppishness, play truant, and do everything of that sort. I have even seen them visiting questionable places. M. I didn't notice such things during our student days. Narendra, perhaps you didn't mix with the students intimately. I have even seen them talking with people of immoral character. Perhaps they are on terms of intimacy with them. M. It is strange indeed. Modern anti-culture, I would not say culture. Narendra, I know that many of them form bad habits. It would be proper if the guardians of the boys and the authorities kept their eyes on these matters. This is mentioned because they were talking thus when Sri Ramakrishna came to them and asked with a smile, well, what are you talking about? Narendra, I have been asking him about the boys in the schools. The conduct of students nowadays isn't all that it should be. The master became grave and said to M rather seriously, not to Narendra. This type of conversation is not good. It isn't desirable to indulge in any talk but talk of God. You are their senior and you are intelligent. You should not have encouraged them to talk about such matters. Now, them means perhaps Priya also was there. Narendra was then about 19 years old and M about 28. Thus admonished, M felt embarrassed and the others also felt silent. So, Sri Ramakrishna does not want others to talk of any matter other than God. While the devotees were enjoying their meal, Sri Ramakrishna stood by and watched them with intense delight. That night, the master's joy was very great. After supper, the devotees rested on the mat spread on the floor of the master's room. They began to talk with him. It was indeed a mark of joy. The master asked Narendra to sing the song, beginning with the line, in wisdom's firmament, the moon of love is rising full. So, in the night also, they want to sing. चिदाकाशे हलो पूर्ण प्रेम चंद्रोदय है उथलिलो प्रेम सिंधु की आनंदमय है जय दयामय जय दयामय जय दयामय चारिदिके झलमल करे भक्त ग्रह दल भक्त संगे भक्त सखा लीला रसमय है जय दयामय जय दयामय जय दयामय स्वर्गेर द्वार खुली आनंद लहरी तुली नव विधान वसंत समीरण बॉय छूटे ताहे मंद मंद लीला रस प्रेम गंध घ्राणे योगी वृंद योगानंद नंदे मत्त होय है जय दयामय जय दयामय जय दयामय भव सिंधु जले विधान कमले that Keshav Chandra's idea of Nava Vidhan. Anandamayi Viraje. आवेश आकुल भक्त अलिकुल पिये सुधा तार माझे देखो देखो मायर प्रसन्न वदन चित्त विनोदन भुवन मोहन. This Thakur's ideas entered. पदतले दले दले साधुगण नाचे गाय प्रेमे होये मगन किंवा अपुरूप आहा मरी मरी जुडाइलो प्राण दर्शन करी प्रेमदासे बोले शवे पाये धरी गाओ भाई मायर जय. In wisdom's firmament, the moon of love is rising full, and love's flood tide is in surging waves, is flowing everywhere. O Lord, how full of bliss thou art, victory unto thee. On every side shine devotees like stars around the moon, their friend, the Lord, all merciful, joyously plays with them. Behold, the gates of paradise today are open wide. The soft spring wind of the new day raises fresh waves of joy. Gently it carries to the earth the fragrance of God's love, till all the yogis, drunk with bliss, are lost in ecstasy. Upon the sea of the world unfolds the lotus of the new day, and there the mother sits enshrined in blissful majesty. See how the bees are mad with joy, sipping the nectar there. Behold the mother's radiant face, which so enchants the heart and captivates the universe. About her lotus feet, bands of ecstatic holy men are dancing in delight. What matchless loveliness is here, what infinite content pervades the heart when she appears. Oh, brothers, says Premadas. Premadas, the composer. I humbly beg you, one and all, to sing the mother's praise. Sri Ramakrishna sang and danced, and the devotees danced around him. When the song was over, the master walked up and down the northeast veranda where Hazara was seated with him. The master sat down there. He asked the devotee, do you ever have dreams? Who is this devotee?
Master.
Master Masha has tried to hide in various ways. Now only Hazara and he is sitting. And Thakur is talking to a devotee. Devotee, yes sir. The other day I dreamt a strange dream. I saw the whole world enveloped in water. There was water on all sides. A few boats were visible, but suddenly huge waves appeared and sank them. I was about to board a ship with a few others when we saw a Brahmin walking over that expanse of water. I asked him, how can you walk over the deep? The Brahmin said with a smile, oh, there is no difficulty about that. There is a bridge under the water. I said to him, where are you going? To Bhavanipur, means the city of the Divine Mother, he replied. Wait a little, I cried, I shall accompany you. Master, oh, I am thrilled to hear this story. Devotee, the Brahmin said, I am in a hurry. It will take you some time to get out of the boat. He's sitting in the boat, na? Goodbye. Remember this path and come after me. Master, oh, my hair is standing on end due to joy. Huh? Please be initiated by Guru as soon as possible. What it means? Regularly start the spiritual journey. Your mind is fit now. Shortly before midnight, Narendra and the other devotees lay down on a bed made on the floor of the master's room. So they got up. We'll see that tomorrow. Om Tava Kathāmritam तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कर्मशापं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।